Well, hello, Joe.
Hey, Hammid.
Hello, and welcome to Garage Talk Media Episode 5, where we review
One Punch Man.
Episode 5.
That's right.
All right, in this episode, we see a change, not in direction. We just get introduced to a lot of new things, right?
Right.
And one of them is the Hero Association, which was actually introduced last season or last episode. But now, this time, we're actually going to see them apply for. They're going to do the test for it. Mm-hmm. But what did you think of the actual physical test?
I was surprised. I really liked it because Saitama is always very humble and doesn't show his strength. He's more evasive. He just throws that one punch. But for once, he took things really seriously. He took the physical exam seriously. And like you said, he crushed every single test. He outdid all of his competitors. There were several dozen big, huge, strong, burly, weird-looking hero types that were just regular human strength. But Saitama, his running test, he whipped past them all down the hall and also had footprints into the cement, and he had a jump test. He jumped so high, he jumped to the top of the very arena, and his head poked through the metal roof. And then the weightlifting test, the other guys are lifting these big, huge, multi-weighted bars, struggling with them, and with one arm, he just lifts it up like that. And like you said, with whack-a-mole, that was hilarious. Putting whack-a-mole in as a strength, endurance, and stamina test, he just, like the $6 million man, like just whacked every single mole, knocked them to pieces, and then his testers afterwards were just assessing all of his accomplishments, and they looked at his one of the moles, and the mole's eye was hanging out, and just were amazed by his strength.
Well, the other thing that's also great about this is it shows the commonality that they've had throughout this episode, all these episodes. One was with the music, which we'll talk about later, but every time they do like a flashback, there's the music changes back to this. What did you call it? A xylophone?
It's a xylophone. It's a little ding, ding, cling, cling, cling. So that lets you know that it's a prior narration, exactly a flashback, explaining what had happened that they couldn't before. They're showing it to us now.
Well, I love those audio cues because, you know, even though we don't know Japanese and we're having to read it really fast, every time I hear them go into that ding, 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 ding with the xylophone, I can understand, oh, this is a flashback. This is not happening now. It's happening. It happened previously.
Right.
But pay attention because it's important.
Exactly.
The other thing, again, was Saitama has two faces. And not that he's two-faced, but he has two expressions. One of them is just like the South Park guys where the Canadians are all beady-eyed or small-eyed, and then he goes into serious mode where he goes back to the way he looked, but when he had hair.
Right.
And I love that this training episode part goes into that where he's like, oh, what was he doing? Was he picking his nose when he was getting ready for the fitness test?
Yeah.
He was doing something crazy like,
Yeah, he's done that in another episode, too. I mean, that's not too fun to watch, but he's supposed to be a superhero, and then he's got his finger up his nose. Okay.
Well,
he's lost in his own world. Exactly.
Exactly. Best way. But what pulls it out of it, whatever pulls him out of it, always makes his expression just become so, like, And I love that part. That you get that visual cue right there.
Yeah. Something lights his fire, and all of a sudden he focuses and is intense on something he needs to think about and do.
Now, they're done with the tests, and the association is interested in one of the characters. And
the Hero Association is very interested in Genos because they found someone had immense strength, so supposedly had destroyed the House of Evolution's headquarters in a few prior episodes, and that House of Evolution was a nuisance to this Hero Association, kind of like two ex-nemesis going after each other. Kind of reminds me way back a long time ago with Maxwell Smart and Chief versus Chaos, those two organizations that went after it. So they're interested in Genos.
Nice 80s reference.
Yes. Or 70s. 70s reference.
70s?
Yeah. But anyway, so they're very interested in Genos because they have a feeling he has this immense firepower that destroyed that whole building. So they bring him into the association to ask him questions.
Well, okay, I guess, but you also learn that the association was started by...
Okay, the association was started by, he's got a big, big, big chin. Supposed that the grandfather of the little homely boy with the big chin 3 years ago that Saitama rescued from the big gloop, gloop, gloop crab monster. Yeah. He saved that homely boy very, very reluctantly, killed the crab monster, and then I guess the little boy's very wealthy grandfather was so amazed by this young Saitama.
Or some
right.
bystander.
Passerby. That's the term they use. Right?
Well, that's translation, right?
So he thought of him as a superhero, allegedly, and created the Hero Association, bringing in people to become superheroes and guard the streets and cities of Japan from all these monsters.
The only reason why I paid attention to that was because he said, "Oh, the Hero Association was only started 3 years ago," and I'm like, "Oh, Saitama's been."
Exactly.
And then when they said it, and then the picture. I mean, if we put them side by side,
the big, huge chin on the grandfather is like the same big chin on the grandson. Exactly. It's like, cool. We have a connection after 4 episodes. We have a connection.
It's okay. 2 things here. One, I love those visual cues, and one, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's the grandfather.
Yeah.
But 2, it shows that Saitama gets no credit for anything he does.
I know.
He no longer has hair. No one will be able to recognize him. That he was the guy that the grandchild got saved by.
Yeah.
And so I love how and in this case, Genos is getting all the attention, even though Saitama was the original target of the House of Evolution. Just absolutely hilarious that this guy is just getting no credit at all. But that's okay. He didn't know about the Hero Association. Now he's part of it because he passed with 70%.
70%. And you need a 70% passing grade to get into the Hero Association. So supposedly, your written and oral exam, you don't need to be all that bright. Maybe that's why they have 11,600 some applicants.
Well, the other part was where Genos gets specially placed into what's called S tier now.
Yeah. Well, let's just explain a little for the audience. All these superheroes, when they pass their tests, if they get accepted into the organization, they get assigned different levels. Level S, level, like you said, A, B, C, D, and then at the top
it just goes from C to A.
Oh, boy.
C to A, and then S.
Okay.
Well, why would you just do that? It's sort of like, my guitar goes to 11.
Yeah, okay, Spinal Tap, right. No, the amplifier, this one goes to 11. It's like, why do that? Why can't you just go to 10? I don't know. I was thinking, well, let's see, Mercedes S-Class, is that like an entry-level Mercedes? But it's still just it's still a Mercedes, but it's just S-Class?
Well, did they even have an A-Class back when they had the S-Class started?
I don't know.
The A-Class is R2 here is a Golf R, so this is their top of the line, but Mercedes just came, like only 5-6 years ago, came out with their version of this.
This is funny. I feel like we're digressing.
Well, we're in a garage. Let's talk cars.
Oh, wait, right. We're digressing, kind of like the movie Inglourious Basterds, where Christoph Wolff gave this long monologue as a Nazi commander. Goes, "Oh, very well. Excuse me, I am digressing." And then, anyways.
Speaking of Tarantino,
yes,
we got to talk about the fighting style of Saitama.
We'll get there.
Which is next.
We'll get there.
Okay, first let's finish up on this.
I got to answer your question, right?
Let's finish up on test. Why S tier?
I don't know. Genos, they really like, and he got the S tier. That is the highest above all the other ones. I think S, A, B, C. And poor Saitama. I always pronounce it Saitama. It's Saitama. Accent is on the first syllable. Saitama.
Well, no. You know what? We can watch Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. It's a common name, or we're probably wrong, but what do we know? We're idiots. But the point is, we don't know what we're talking about. We're telling you about it.
Yeah, exactly.
In Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, when the American boy who's been shipped off to be with his dad in Japan, why would you do that? Why would a judge allow that to happen in the U.S.? Anyway,
I don't know, but
we're not reviewing that.
Right, and we don't have to have all the answers, because half the fun is trying to going back and forth on this. This was a more intellectual thinking episode, and hopefully the audience will pick up some of what we're saying and watch the episode and come up with the right answer and send it to us in fan mail.
Yes, in the comments. Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift, there's a Saitama reference in there. And the only reason I caught up on that was we've been watching this.
We'll try not to drift away from this episode.
No, let's go back on track.
Right.
Otherwise, we're gonna have like a 30-minute video. And who wants that? Saitama isn't upset. I mean, Genos is like, you didn't really do well on the written test.
Saitama barely got a 71.
but he was happy. I'm in.
He's in because he got 100% on the physical. Yeah, it's
got 100%. Very low on the
written oral. And
so
they
got 50,
they didn't even interview him. Yeah. Genos did very well at the interview. They didn't even bother to interview Saitama.
No, just gave him the piece of paper. But they both go to orientation.
They go to orientation, lecture hall, whatever. Yeah.
What was
hall, whatever, lecture hall, whatever. It's just like going back to college,
Yeah.
Lecture hall, whatever building.
It's just the two of them.
It's just the two of them.
Absolutely hilarious because they're being lectured by this guy named Snek, not Snake.
Right, Snek, who looks like a snake. He's dressed in like purple and brown blotches, long hair.
I thought he had like snake skin.
It could have been snakeskin.
super
Yeah, it looked like snakeskin. Maybe that's why they call him snake, variation of snake. But anyways, yeah, and then the only ones
What's his fighting style too?
Snake.
Remember,
exactly.
he had to demonstrate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And which goes back to like Tarantino. You were saying earlier in last episode where the fighting style that Saitama has when people are attacking him is to dodge.
Yes. Yeah, kind of like maybe a little Aikido in there. Just move out of the way and dodge and throw them down.
Be out, right. But
use their energy to let them fall down.
And also his speed allows him to get out of the way. Exactly. And we've seen that before in movies. And Quentin, I don't know about what his inspiration was for these things, but I know he's got some kind of like Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
He's always quoting that. Some guy. We're not. At least I'm not.
Right. I couldn't make it to the fifth Samurai, so never mind the seventh.
He put that in Kill Bill.
Yeah.
The bride.
Yeah.
Goes up against
Uma Thurman.
Pay my
bills. I don't know. But yeah, I know.
The guy with the
with the long white hair,
right,
in his face all the time.
He says, "Hit me,"
Yeah.
your best style. And she's doing like Snake, where she's got like some tiger paw or like this.
I don't know, snake venom, eye poking thing. Chicken.
With UFC, I don't understand how any of that stuff would ever come back as popularity, but leave it to Tarantino to actually make a movie about this stuff.
Right.
Anyway, Mai Pei or May Pai or whatever ends up doing the fighting style you're talking about.
Mai Pai.
But he's constantly he's dodging your shots, and that's what I thought about when Genos was not when Genos, the Kabuki, the Carnage Kabuki.
Kabuto. Oh, Carnage Kabuto.
Kabuto, yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to attack him, and Saitama's just like, he's getting hit, but then also he's like, okay, I'm dodging. He says, oh my God, I've the bargain store and that kind of stuff. It's that fighting style that Snake comes out, and he's like showing off.
He is showing off to the two rookies because Snake is a Class A, top of the line hero, and he's giving an orientation to Genos and to Saitama as to welcome to the association. It's not going to be easy, and you guys got to conduct yourself in a hero professional manner. And he jumps on the desk and does his little snake moves, and Saitama could care less. Saitama is blowing bubbles with bubble gum, and it pops all over his face. Pisses off Snake, so you must pay attention. He's just too intense for his own good.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's going to be a little clash between them later. But Genos is the good, studious guy sitting there and just paying attention and taking it all seriously.
No, the lecturer was trying to instill some, like, hey, this is serious.
Discipline, serious,
and again,
exactly.
Saitama could care less. He didn't even know this
And
existed.
he's even got, like, some kind of a hoodie sweatshirt that says Oppai. I don't know what that means. Yeah,
but he's also got the two... I mean, it looks weird that he's got the two things that look like breasts and then the dots. I don't understand why.
I don't know. And in the physical, I don't know why he couldn't just wear shorts or trunks like all the other guys. He had to wear like Speedos, blue Speedos.
Oh, that's right.
And as he did the whole physical. And whatever, I guess that's just the makers. Maybe they're trying to attract the female anime audience. I don't know that, but
I don't think it exists.
I have no idea.
Well, actually, I think I've been to the Anime Expo. It's actually
Comic-Con. They've been there.
Yeah, a lot of cosplay.
All the girls that dress like Sailor Moon with the long blue hair. Okay. Yeah. But anyways,
going back to this though. So he gives a lecture. They're walking back, but while they're walking back, the Snack is talking to one of the men in black from the last episode, who's saying, hey, he's like, these guys, they don't pay attention. One of them is really annoying. Yeah. And then the other, he goes, well, Genos is already ahead of you. Saitama will probably be beating you pretty soon.
Yeah, he's catching up rapidly.
Why would you say that to somebody? I don't know why he would mention that.
Probably because he knows that Snake is getting a little bit out of hand and maybe arrogant in his ways. Too big for his britches. To that special agent saying, hey, you know your place and be careful because these two guys can easily overtake you. And that's what ticks off Snake for a little confrontation between him and Saitama a little bit later.
Genos goes one way and Saitama's going home. Not. They're just going back to their houses. You don't know where they're going. Right. I mean, big time because like they meet up later in the episode. What ends up happening though is that Snake confronts Saitama and says, "Hey, we got a little thing called, smash
rookie crushing. Rookie crushing, because I'm a Class A hero. We're doing rookie crushing, and he gets his snake hands up, and he attacks Saitama.
Yeah, and he touches Saitama in the face, and Saitama touches back.
Well, Snake actually throws a big, huge punch at Saitama, but then next thing you know, Snake
it hits his jaw. It hits his.
Okay, it hits his jaw, right? But then Snake ends up just plastered into the ground. Yeah. So, but then Saitama just kind of walks around casually.
So your theory was that the force of hitting Saitama made Snake get hit in his own face.
That's what I thought, because they don't really show what happens.
Well, in hindsight,
yeah,
anything that he basically touches, he can touch things like Secret Ninja.
Okay.
Remember the Secret Ninja? He accidentally touched the ball sack of the ninja.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But that was on accident.
Exactly. He just had his arms up like that, and the ninja landed right on his crutch. It was like, oh my gosh, ow, ow. And his eyes were already infuriated.
Well, no, he was trying to keep it together, but then obviously he was distressed because what man doesn't like?
Exactly.
But I think Saitama may have just touched him in the face, but they don't show that. And I'm wondering if they want to leave that up to your imagination, which you have one completely different than mine.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously right. But my point is, I think he just oh, well, if you're going to do your little thing, I'll do the same thing, and you're on the ground and get out of my way. But that kind of, it obviously doesn't physically harm Saitama, but it affects him mentally. Because later on, that we come back to that.
Yeah.
So we go on to now where Genos meets back up with Saitama and says, hey, Saitama wants to test himself again. He's got new armor. It's now all black instead of the silver highlights.
You mean Genos?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. Genos wants to test. Yeah.
Genos wants to test his new armor.
Yeah.
It's all black. He's wearing a different shirt.
Yeah.
Which is funny because if you look at it, Saitama's always been consistent. Genos is constantly changing his outfit.
Yeah.
He's like a Barbie doll or something. You know, you want to dress
He's
up.
He's like a fashion king.
You're right.
Yeah, and now
he's got the hair.
He looks a little bit like a transformer, with the big turbojets coming out of his arms and the thrusters and the legs and all this power coming out.
That's right.
Anyways,
that's the other part. Before they left and Snek showed up, Genos reveals that, hey, I'm now your disciple.
Right. Genos says, now I am officially your disciple, Saitama. Master, will you please take me as your disciple, or thank you very much for taking me? And Genos says, Saitama's like, what?
Oh, I forgot I made that bet.
He made that bet and reluctantly takes in Genos as his official disciple.
Well, he agrees to it. So then the next day, they're at the big open field, which I thought was
big open fields. Yeah,
right. Where in Japan do they have all these open fields?
I don't know. Maybe
30% of it's only
one far west corner on the coast of Honshu or Hokkaido or Kyushu. I don't know. Maybe it's in there.
You're making that up.
I'm not making that up. I'm speculating. You know where those macaw monkeys are, the snow monkeys? Maybe it's on their island off of Japan in the summertime.
No, they're obviously they're in City Z. Right. So again, we speculate that.
They're speculation, right?
No, the point is, they're in this big open field, and it to me. I originally thought it was the. In fact, I made the comment. I thought it was the House of Evolution area.
It looked like it,
didn't it?
Same
I think
area.
they used the exact same. Background cells.
Probably.
But so Genos' thing said, hey, now that I'm your disciple, I want to test myself.
Yeah.
And it's like. It's all. I mean, it's like he's trying to kill Saitama. That's what his goal is to do that. Now I guess he has the faith in Saitama that he can survive this, and he's not going to be strong enough. But what if he was strong enough?
I don't know if Genos is trying to kill his master Saitama, but Genos wants respect. He's got more power, more armament. He wants to test his strength, like you said, against Saitama, and wants a fair, respectful, no holds bar, no holding back fight to show their different disciplines and to show their strengths and fighting ability. And Saitama reluctantly agrees. And he goes, is this a real fight? And then Genos says, no, not a real fight, but just to show what we've got. Genos, that opens up and unleashes this immense amount of power. It's like the biggest green weapon. I forgot what it's called, the Mega 1000.
BFG 9000.
In Doom 2. My favorite, BFG 9000. Thank you, Hammid. In Doom 2, where it takes a few seconds to muster up energy, and then this big, huge green blob of energy goes out and destroys the whole countryside. So Genos is destroying all this area, but can't seem to hit Saitama. Yeah. But Saitama then realizes, hey, Genos is serious here. You better wake up.
I was worried for Saitama when all the guns came out, and then they came out, and then they came out. And I think that's a representative of the way the fight went.
Yeah.
Genos started by trying to be fast, and didn't work out. Saitama evaded. Then he tried to go more, evaded, more. And the last one was boom. All these guns faced right at Saitama. Yeah. And he shoots it, and he thinks, "Oh, I've done it," or maybe I hurt him, whatever. And then Saitama's behind him.
Exactly.
And again, Genos turns around, got scared, turns around, and and I think he was going to fire one more time, and that's when Saitama does the last thing.
Saitama mustered up all of his energy and threw this big, huge, powerful punch towards Genos, and like the whole countryside gets obliterated, and thunder, lightning, and power and all that. But it stops like an inch from Genos' nose, and all of a sudden Genos feels like, oh my God, he's been beat. All that power. He gets instant respect and humility towards Saitama. And because he didn't punch him, he came close, but he's still there, but just realized that Saitama had all this immense power. And he just bows down to him. But Genos is just stunned, saying, you have such power, Master. Oh my gosh, you're disciplined. You have such power. And Saitama is walking away and turns back and says,
I win. He said, I win. I win.
Yeah, Saitama's, I win. And they go to this tiny little noodle house to eat udon noodles.
And Saitama suggests one.
There's another
new type of
match.
challenge.
Yeah, they want another match. He goes, let's have another match.
Yeah, and it's 50,000 yen if you eat. I don't know how many
udon noodles. It's like, who can
kilos
eat so many udon noodles? So they have a match. Who can eat the most noodles? It's just hilarious.
Saitama, basically hits his
almost
head.
passes out. He can't eat any more
Noodle coming out
noodles,
of his
and he passes out. And then all the other patrons are just staring in amazement. And the chef comes out with the bandana around his head. Cannot believe that one of them there can still eat so many noodles. And there's Genos standing with full composure with a big, huge blue bucket guzzling down the last few drops of noodles. I went.
No, he's like, is that all?
Is that all? Yeah, anymore. Yeah.
I don't know. If it's because he's a cyborg, or if he just was like an.
I would think it's because he is a cyborg. Because Saitama is powerful and he's human and he's in good shape. And if he can eat that many noodles, nobody can. I would think it's because of Genos being a cyborg that he can eat that many udon noodles. But all you people out there that are watching the show, decide for yourselves, and hopefully you can understand that. Yeah, it kind of makes sense that if you're half cyborg, you can eat more udon noodles because human stomachs can only go so far.
I think Data from Star Trek.
Data from Star
could not eat. Or could he process the food and just eject it out later?
I don't know, but I don't think he ever had udon noodles. So.
There was a robot that couldn't. AI. Yeah, Steven Spielberg's AI.
Oh, okay.
That child could not eat. In fact, when he did eat, his face started having like a stroke. And then they had to clean him out.
Oh, a kid getting a stroke for not eating.
For eating.
I'm glad I didn't see that movie. That would have been a hard movie to see. I missed that movie.
There's a visitor to these guys. How do they know they're there though? Do they inject them with a chip or something? A tracking chip?
It's in the script, and they're catalysts. They're catalyst characters. You got to inject another character to keep the movie going forward. I could offer some examples of that. Okay, real quick. The original Star Wars. We already know it's a movie of Luke Skywalker going and find out his father, but the story needed to pick up a little bit. So George Lucas threw in the Obi-Wan Kenobi character. That's a catalyst character to keep the story moving.
Oh, yeah, that's from your film years, right?
Exactly. That's from me in film school years. But anyways, we'll get back to this. So all of a sudden,
I wonder if he knew that he was doing that, or did he invent that?
He knew what he was doing.
No, Lucas, you think like at USC school when he was talking to Spielberg, he's like, "Oh, I think this element there."
I think their teachers taught them the elements and what works in movies. Okay. Like earlier, I had in one of these episodes, I had said in movies, don't kill off your characters ahead of time because you'll lose your audience. But if you put your characters in peril, you'll keep your audience in the edge of their seat. That's why they have the whole trash compactor scene in Star Wars because the audience is thinking, wait a minute, our characters can't die. It's too early. They haven't killed the bad guys. They can't die. So the scene itself has nothing to do with the plot or the movie, but it gets the audience really rooting for the characters.
And then Disney bought Star Wars and they've destroyed it.
I think Disney
they've not only killed the characters, they've killed the franchise.
I think Disney's going to buy the moon, but we're not there yet.
And you'll agree, The Last Jedi, worst movie ever.
No.
You know they're changing now, but it is true. It's the worst movie.
Okay,
ever.
I think I liked it.
Yeah, you're wrong. Okay, the point is,
the gorgeous looking,
the good looking guy
model, Akai mask. Akai
no,
mask.
I thought it was Asa mask.
Asai mask, something like that.
Asi. I'll put it down.
I hope it's Asahi because I like that beer. But anyways. Asai mask. He's a gorgeous-looking Class A hero wearing like a white jacket. He's got long, bluish hair and green eyes, and he's wearing a medallion. And he comes and kind of picks upon Genos to go outside to talk.
Yes, and Saitama warns him. It's
going to be a fight. He's going to rookie crush you. And so Genos is all on the defense there when he goes out there.
Because you want me to go out with you? I can help you. He's like, nah, I think
he's got this. Yeah, but then Arai mask character just says, "Welcome to the club. It's a wonderful club, and you know, aside from strength and saving the population from bad guys, you've got to conduct yourself again in a certain way, and it's a popularity contest too. It's you got to be popular, and this guy is very, very popular because all the young junior high girls were in their short skirts at the noodle place are saying, "Oh, it's a Arai mask. Oh, it's a Arai mask."
They're going crazy, like they're
girly over him. It's
what is that? They're like pop bandish guy or boy band.
K-pop.
Well, no,
stuff.
K-pop is the other one.
Yeah, I know. Across the sea. Across the sea, exactly.
They're doing this J-pop infatuation thing. In fact, he's just putting out an album. I think he's doing these television appearances, and I think he puts out his own album. He's like some kind of celebrity entertainer. But going back to that, he doesn't threaten Genos, but Genos kind of insults the
He's only defensive. Yeah, Genos says, "Oh, your tests were nothing. There were nothing much to pass."
Rubbish.
Rubbish.
Well, that's what it is.
No big deal. So the Arai mask Class A hero kind of gets his feelings hurt a little bit and kind of gets hurt that, oh, he's making fun of my association. But then he tells, Genos, well, we'll be in touch, and pats him on the shoulder and walks off. So that sets something up like he's going to probably be watching over Genos and mentor him too.
Right. Well, that's what I love about One Punch Man is the way they're doing this.
Yeah.
Where they introduce these things. You got the Hero Association inserted last week, coming in this week. Now you learn more about them. But wait, it's not enough just to have a Hero Association. It's not enough just to have the Justice League. You're now going to have, in just the triumvirate of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, you've got all these little characters that they're introducing that are just, they're throwaway. Snek is a throwaway character, but I think he's what you're talking about, like what Obi-Wan Kenobi was in the first movie.
Catalyst character to get the story going forward.
Right, so they're using these guys, and it's amazing how during this show, throughout all the episodes that we've watched, they're introducing these people that actually just get thrown away. No big deal.
Which is funny.
Well, it's not.
They get one punched away.
Well, they don't. They get their one episode maybe.
Yeah.
And then boom, they're on to the next one.
Yeah. Well, it keeps an animator happy and a voiceover artist in Japan happy for one episode.
It keeps me in on this. I'll tell you what.
It keeps us here on the show.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But we're getting off topic again.
Right. But it's all fun,
Well, let's go back to. So Genos did not get attacked for being a new rookie
hero, right?
But again, it's showing that Genos is being treated one way, Saitama the other. Yeah. So they're walking, and Genos says,
"Goodbye.
We'll talk to you tomorrow."
Yes.
And they split off again.
And you think there's going to be a split. It looks like a symbolic split because they walk different directions.
It's on a bridge, one light.
Nighttime, lights. Yeah. Would have been happening that Saitama was at home eating. Oh, no, he had a popsicle. He was licking a vanilla popsicle. All of a sudden, knock, knock, knock. So, yeah, Genos wants to move in with this big, huge backpack. Right. And when Saitama says, absolutely not, Genos slams down rent money, which is this big stack of yen. And then it cuts to the exterior of the building, and you hear the voiceover of Saitama saying, "Did you bring a toothbrush?"
Yes. And the end.
It's the end.
Hi!
Height. I've counted at least like 25 or 30 different heights in these episodes, and there's probably a lot more. Yes.
Height, height. Or I see, or
they don't. Not translate.
The translation's not perfect, but like when he'll go, he's like, really, or it's like he just grunted.
Yeah.
But the translation's for us. It actually, I'm still learning Japanese. I love this thing. Going back to.
I really think so. Da 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 da. I'm sorry. That was the old song.
I really think so.
Never mind. That's an old 80s song turning Japanese.
I think I'm turning
Japanese. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Going back, the very end, though, is the introduction to the next episode, which is done by our favorite A-class superhero.
Snek.
Yeah, Snek. Yeah. So he survived.
He survived.
He's got a punch in his face. I mean, his face will recover, but he did recover, and so that'll be the next episode. But the episode's pretty much done. I liked it. I thought it was great. What did you think of it?
I really, really liked it because aside from the plot, the action, the drama, there's the subtle humor, the slapstick humor, and the in-your-face humor. Yeah. It's just really, really fun to watch. And read the subtitles. When you watch it, if it goes very, very quickly for you, just do what I do.
If you know Japanese.
If you didn't Japanese, it's a walk in the park. I don't know which park, but it's a walk in the park. I just keep hitting the pause button, and I read the subtitles.
Yeah. It's a pain.
And true, but that's how you get all the subtle humor.
Yeah.
And all the in-your-face humor.
You got it.
Because these two guys are really developing themselves as comedians, Saitama and Genos. I mean, they're not trying to, but the makers are making them comedians too.
I agree.
They just put too much I really like this episode.
Okay, so do we have anything to talk about, like comment-wise?
No, I don't think so. I think
I know you're getting tons of fan mail.
Oh,
you're probably gonna need a PO box here pretty soon.
Yeah. Thank you, people, for watching. I didn't bring any fan mail, but I think that we
Okay.
talked long enough and digress into different directions, which enhances the show. I hope it gets people thinking. You know, oh, they mentioned this. I remember
Well,
that.
if I could edit it better and faster, maybe we could have it longer.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Okay. Going back to this. So yes, if you like this episode, please like and subscribe down below.
Give us 2 thumbs up and subscribe.
Oh, by the way, advice. Give us some advice. Whatever you think we should be doing. We've had some questions as to what else we're going to do. We don't know. We're just starting with something simple, and this is actually something we can actually get behind, and it's easier for us to do. After this, who knows? We'll move forward.
The only fan mail I got was, I didn't write it down, but let's see. Lilia from Montclair had was relieved that I finally changed my shirt, so I'm not wearing that red shirt anymore.
Oh,
I
no.
wore the white shirt last time. Okay, I'm wearing a cool black shirt this time.
Oh,
I'm changing my wardrobe finally.
No, and I'm sorry, I made him do that. One, I don't know how to color correct or color stabilize the front
white
camera.
shirt.
Yeah, no, the front camera. Remember the red?
Yeah.
The red was your red was sparkly, whereas I was wearing a red next to
Yeah.
you, and it was perfectly solid.
And I guess my white shirt didn't work either. Maybe it had too much.
No.
It was too much of a contrast.
Well, the thing is, that's his elbow.
This is my elbow.
No, I'm sorry. That's the seat. You're just too small. That's the problem. Your elbow was showing at one point. I said, "Don't make it white, so it'll be distracting." And at the same point,
Okay.
Right. Anyway, so please like and subscribe. Give us some more advice, comments down below,
That's right.
and it'll keep us going.
And no hating, please.
Oh, nobody's hated yet.
Nobody's hating yet. That's a good
People been
thing.
hating?
I don't think they're watching enough
can't
to
take
hate.
that.
They're not watching enough to hate.
Me out.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna open the garage door now because it's hot as hell.
Very good. All right, guys. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.